We believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Season 4 of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM show. We're well into the second show of the first week episodes of Week 5. This season arrives at a defining moment of Indian hospitality where growth, competition, and evolving guest behavior are collectively reshaping how hotels operate across every segment. Our Season 4 theme reflects exactly that moment. India at the hospitality inflection point, redefining excellence across every stay segment. The theme for our episode today is weddings, weekends, and weekdays, monetizing every square foot. We're actually monetizing every square foot if you think of the larger picture of every hotel and industry. Hotels today must balance multiple demand engines, destination weddings, weekend leisure escapes, weekday corporate travel, and social celebrations, all while ensuring that every space within the asset contributes to revenue and guest experience. To moderate today's discussion, I'm delighted to welcome Gaurav Apte, who's the Area General Manager for IHG Southwest Asia, and he also doubles up as the General Manager for the Crowne Plaza today in Gurugram. Goa boy in Gurugram, just beat that. There are hardly any panels. Gaurav, so nice to have you with us today and leading the show.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. It's always a pleasure to be on this beautifully curated show. And my first time as moderator, I'm excited and hopeful that I'm able to contribute to this topic. Thank
You
you.
will. I bet my money on the right horse.
Thank you.
All right. So, Gaurav, as hospitality demand diversifies across weddings, leisure escapes, and corporate travel, the challenge for hotels today is about maximizing revenue from every space across every day of the week. General managers are now balancing destination weddings, weekend leisure demand, and weekday corporate business to ensure that every square foot of the asset works harder and smarter. To discuss this today, Gaurav, we have some of the finest general managers. With your permission, may I bring them all in one by one? All right.
Sure.
First in off the block is Saurabh Khanna, who's moved all the way from Agra to Dehradun. He's the general manager of the Le Méridien Dehradun Resort and Spa. Welcome to the show, Saurabh.
Good evening, Mr. Khanna. Good evening, Gaurav. Thank you for inviting me to on this show. Happy to be a part of season 4 and looking forward to the conversations with this esteemed panel of general managers who are going to join me today.
Such a pleasure having you on board, Saurabh. Thank you. Now, Dehradun to Kochi, imagine the distance and flight. There in a jiffy with Fino Babu, who's the general manager of the Holiday Inn Kochi.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna, and I look forward to have a great conversation. It's the third time I'm in the show, and it's truly privileged to be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Fino, thank you for your time. I'm not very far away from you, sitting in Chennai. All right. Next in is Deepak Kumar, first timer on the GM show platform. He's the general manager of the Hilton Mumbai International Airport. Welcome to the show, Deepak.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Hi, Gaurav. Thanks a lot. Good to be here, first time, and looking forward to exciting conversations and insightful conversation.
Thank you so much. Next in is my dear good friend, Kadambari Sabharwal. Not a fresher. She's been here a couple of times. She's the general manager of the Courtyard by Marriott, Bengaluru, Hebbal. Welcome once again to the show, Kadambari.
you so much, sir. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here, and I really look forward to interacting with some of the older faces as well as new faces. Good luck to us all, and may we have some really candid conversations.
Couldn't
Thank
agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. Let's have some fun. The next two are first timers
Yes.
again. Saumitra Chaturvedi, he's the general manager of the freshly minted Novotel New Delhi City Center. Welcome to the show, Saumitra.
A very warm good evening to you, Mr. Khanna, and every other fellow panelist. Looking forward to this exciting conversation, and probably want to understand such a good topic. I want to understand everybody's perspective and take back something.
All right. Thank you so much. Not a freshly minted hotel, but a freshly minted general manager. First timer again on the show, Vishal Sharma, who's the general manager of the Lalit New Delhi. Welcome to the show, Lalit. Vishal.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you, Mr. Apte. Of course, I look forward, and we'll have meaningful conversation. We'll have a lot of learnings today. Thank you for having me here. Thanks.
Great. So, Gaurav, let me get rolling with you first, and this will also help set up context to the show. With your permission, may I begin with the first question with you?
Let's go.
All right, super show. Why don't you say a few words and then we get cracking in?
All right. I think hotels today operate in a very far more dynamic demand market than ever before. I think once properties used to be defined either into business travel or leisure segments. Today, most of the successful hotels are those that can seamlessly balance multiple different segments like weddings, weekend leisure demand, corporate travelers, and local social events. And I would love to hear what the other general managers have to say and how they are able to maximize their asset across different markets and segments.
Super. So tell me, Gaurav, from your vantage point, managing large urban assets, are hotels today fundamentally rethinking how they use their physical spaces to generate revenue across different demand segments? You had a fairly decent geography and portfolio, and you've got varied experiences across different locations. So you're in that right position to respond to this.
I think absolutely. What we're witnessing today is a fundamental shift in how hotels perceive and monetize their physical spaces. Traditionally, spaces were fairly static. A ballroom was a ballroom, a restaurant was a restaurant, and that was about it. The way we are now thinking has completely evolved, right from having multi-purpose fluid spaces that can transition across different demand segments, from a corporate conference in the morning to a wedding in the evening or a social celebration. I think what has led in this transition is revenue models that are primarily event-led, whether it's weddings, conferences, brand activations. So they are not necessarily ancillary revenue streams. They are very central to how a hotel's commercial strategy is. I think in many cases, they don't just drive C&E revenue, catering and event revenue or F&B revenue, but they also contribute to room nights at the hotel. They lead to the guest using other services in the hotel and overall guest engagement. I think the other important thing is managing your weekday weekend demand. So most of the hotels, weekdays still continue to be dominated by corporate and MICE business, whereas weekends are mainly about leisure, staycations, social gatherings. I would say the challenge as well as an opportunity is how effectively we can pivot spaces and experiences to cater to both, the demand. And finally, I think what is influencing how hotels are designed and reimagined, it's basically how you convert your ballroom into multiple convertible venues, outdoor spaces, rooftops, pre-function areas. All these could be monetized depending on the occasion. So yes, to answer to your question, it's no longer about managing space. It's about curating demand, maximizing revenue per square feet through flexibility, a little bit of creativity, and smart commercial thinking. Bhuvanesh, you're on mute, I think.
So at the end of the day, I've been into retail. So I can tell you retail is nothing but selling hot real estate on a per square basis. How much does each product which is sold give you per square foot? Right? And which is the case with you. I mean, then, we could put this asset to better users if they give us better use. But hospitality is not just about making money per square foot, which is a translation, but it's also the entire package of the guest experience and what it gives back to the country. Now I'll do the next best thing. Let you drive the show. I hand over the baton to you, and I'll watch from the side from ringside.
All right, thank you so much. Let's start our first round robin with Saurabh. Saurabh, you've been in resort locations, Dehradun, where you're currently based out of. Uh, Resort properties like your hotel, Méridien Dehradun, are seeing extremely strong wedding demand. And how do destination weddings reshape the, how the resort monetizes its spaces effectively?
Thank you for the question, Gaurav. I think representing Méridien Dehradun Resort and Spa, I must say this topic feels almost handpicked for me because weddings are truly the backbone of our resort business. And I think in many ways for most resorts or business hotels across India. In fact, I think the importance of weddings can be judged by the simple fact that in our industry now, hotel budgets are closely linked to the number of auspicious wedding dates in the year. So the higher the number of Saya dates in a calendar year, happier the revenue forecasts tend to be. Coming to the topic at hand, I think destination weddings and especially weddings for our hotels have fundamentally transformed the economic landscape for the resorts. If I just talk about the macro picture to start with, destination weddings are going to give you significant revenue through just one integrated event that kind of unfolds in various revenue verticals of the hotel. Through weddings, we are typically driving higher ADRs, higher APCs than most other business segments. And we're able to command premiums for our venues, for our F&B decor, for our spa services, transportations, and curated experiences. So from a pure business standpoint, weddings help us activate the entire hotel ecosystem, driving ADRs during peak demand periods and also driving occupancy during shoulder periods. Now, if I just go to a more micro level, weddings help us from a programming standpoint. Rather, we are also able to monetize each event because it's no longer a single ceremony that a wedding brings. It brings multi-day celebrations with multiple themes as well. There are welcome dinners, there are mendis, there are haldis, cocktail events, fairas, after parties, and so on and so forth. So this allows us to monetize multiple venues, indoor ballrooms, lawns, terraces, restaurants, pool sites, scenic outdoor locations. Every square inch of the hotel is monetized to create that particular experience and to create that particular theme that the guest is looking to drive from their wedding. The other part of the weddings is, of course, the concept of resort buyouts, especially for a hotel like ours. We are a 103 room hotel, and we have the perfect inventory size for intimate to mid-size weddings for about 200, 250 guests, which offers families the option of having a full resort buyout. How that helps them is it gives them complete exclusivity and privacy, which is increasingly valued by a lot of families in today's time. And for the resort, it gives us maximum occupancy and guaranteed revenues across rooms, venues, and other revenue streams. Operationally, for us, it allows us to focus entirely on delivering one exceptional celebration rather than managing smaller multiple events simultaneously. The last piece of weddings, of course, is the experiential event design. Resorts like ours has a lot of natural landscapes around us, a lot of expansive outdoor spaces that can truly create immersive celebrations. That includes mountain view fairas, curated wellness mornings, local cultural performances, gourmet dining experiences, and vibrant after party lounges. So this pretty much transforms the resort from simply being a venue into a destination where guests can celebrate and create lifelong memories together. So I think in terms of my closing remarks, I would just say that destination weddings today are no longer just events, but they're multi-day immersive experiences that transform resorts into complete celebration ecosystems, which unlock multiple revenue streams while creating unforgettable destinations.
Great. Saurabh, the hotel looks stunning behind you, and I'm sure that your experience in Agra has given you the exposure to, run this resort really well. So all the best to you, and thank you for your inputs.
Thank you.
Moving now to Fino. So Fino, in a destination like Cochin, where tourism and business travel coexist, how do hotels balance weekday corporate demand with weekend leisure and social events?
Thank you, Gaurav. I think before I moving into the answer, I really like that point of view what Mr. Khanna shared, that whole real estate with square foot of business. Quickly I will share an incident. I had an owner who used to walk into the hotel and we'd look at that quiet corner in the lobby and ask that, that was supposed to be 200 rupees per square feet of rental, which is lying over there if it was a built-up space, and how much you earned in this month. This was much before probably I ever heard this word called Raw Pass, but an eye-opener for me, and probably whatever I done in my life was from that single question. Why? Let me come back to your question. When I look at Kochi, fortunately, I'm in a destination where it was declared as one of the hottest trending destinations by Booking.com in 2026. So that tells me that juggling between leisure and corporate was no more a choice, rather it was a necessity for this destination. I don't think that we will ever differentiate even a weekday or a weekend. Yes, we do have a great corporate base over here, where it is IT or shipping or Navy, even when you're looking into pharma, we have a great base. But beyond that, what I've seen the trend in the last 2 or 3 years, there is also a lot of travelers who is traveling for business as well as leisure. And that doesn't differentiate between a weekend or a weekday. So as a hotel in a destination which is having equal demand, what we do is we create an atmosphere for our guests where they have a share of both. When it comes to corporate, obviously, we look at efficiency, we look at the great Wi-Fi, we look at the overall experience, what we can give it to them. While for a leisure, I think it is all about curated experiences. So if I put it in this way, we don't sell rooms on weekends, rather we sell them a curated experiences. Either we'll give it bundled with F&B experiences, or we bundled with wellnesses, even travel packages. There was a small island in Kochi called Kadambari, which was probably never heard maybe a year back or 2 years back. Thanks to Mr. Mahindra, he made a tweet stating that this is one destination in India you should be visiting. Trust me, there are travelers who is coming today and asking us that, where is Kadambari? Can we have a trip over there? And we create those travel experiences for them. So it's a great advantage to work in a destination like this, because you will end up having a hotel, or you should be having a hotel which is catering to both the segments. I guess it's all about creating experiences, and that's what probably keep you driving in a destination like this. Thank you.
Great, Fino. And I know there was a art festival that happened very recently that had driven a lot of demand into your market. Is it Biennale?
Trust me, it was 3 months of non-stop art festival. There are close to 80 countries were a part of it, and many art curators came, artists came. we had people traveling from all over the world to visit this. So if I go in that way, I think Kerala Tourism is doing a great job when it comes to creating those experiences for the travelers that Kochi is still. The very famous Kerala Circle, it starts and ends with Kochi. So anybody who comes to this state will definitely have a visit over here. And the city have a lot more to offer, not only about heritage, but when it comes to the beauty of sheer nature and the close proximity to many attractions, whether it is Munnar, Alapi, or Adirapalli, the very famous waterfalls, and the list goes on. Yes, you are right. Binara was a great success.
Thank you, Fino. From Kochi to Mumbai now, Deepak, airport hotels like your hotel, Hilton Mumbai, operate in a very high turnover environment. How do such properties maximize space utilization beyond just room inventory? Deepak, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay. Am I audible now? I'm sorry. Okay, so
Yes,
let me start with the good problem. The good problem is that Mumbai, I mean, as a city, does about 80 plus kind of occupancy. The another bigger problem is that the airport area does more than that. So that and we're talking about throughout the week. So that becomes a challenge. That what else do you do to increase your revenue when it comes to rooms and high transient demand? What we look at is, for the week and for the weekend, is there an opportunity to switch your segments? That's very critical for us. Typically, we say, okay, let's have weekdays filled with corporate because that's the flow in the city. Weekend should be groups or maybe B2B or wholesale. The key lies here in maximizing through identifying, and this is on a weekly basis. It can change for the next week or for the week after, so it's very dynamic. We got to be on top of our the pace and the movement and the segment, that which segment is going to work for you. Maybe for the weekend, besides corporate, you want to focus on retail, which gives you a better area. So that is one way to maximize that. Instead of just focusing on the occupancy, look at the segments which are going to work, and we focus on that. Another area to drive here is the incremental revenues which we have attached to the room. Now, again, typically we say, okay, upsell is there, we set a target, we have no-show revenue, we have cancellations, we have early check-in, late checkout. But how we drive it is that each of these areas are tracked on a daily basis. The targets are broken down for individuals, and even a single loss of, say, early check-in is kind of checked. What happened? Why did we capture it? So I think that brings a little better efficiency. So a tracking mechanism to ensure that even the incremental revenues are not left on table is very critical to kind of maximize on the room revenue. Now, coming to F&B. F&B has to be very innovative. Things like having right tools in place. So, I mean, you can go ahead with tools like table check, mobile ordering. So, tech support combined with the aggregators, which obviously are key players now, be it Zomato, Swiggy, they do play a key role in driving our numbers. Helps us. There is a good scope for cloud kitchen. We are on cloud kitchen, and I can proudly say that a little focus there can bring in a very significant number on the top line for us. I think there's an opportunity to for hotels like us near the airport. There's a lot of opportunity for selling your rooms for breakaways during the day, because airport hotel is 24/7 operations. You have opportunity for rooms to be sold during the day as breakaways, even for, say, exhibitions, wherein these are invite-only exhibitions. So we look at all these opportunities and try to cash in them to kind of bring in as much revenue on table as we can. I guess that's what I can share for a city like Mumbai, wherein the transient demand and dynamics are very, very different. You got to be on your toes. You got to be driving the kind of break down all the targets on a daily basis. May be required on a shift-wise basis and achieve them. And if needed, pivot quickly, maybe on a weekly basis. But that's how it is. So that's my take on how we drive performance here.
Thank you, Deepak, and may your ADR grow from day use revenue and no-shows. But thank you for this. Moving on to Bangalore now. Carrie, you've been in the Bangalore market for quite some time now, and the corporate ecosystem there is evolving rapidly. How are hotels designing spaces that work equally well for meetings, social gatherings, and weekend leisure guests?
Thank you, Gaurav, for that question. I mean, quite an interesting one. And I have to say, before I begin with the answer to it, that there was a time when we had certain ownerships ask us to sweat the asset. And at that time, which was almost about 8 to 10 years back, I didn't really understand the concept, right? Fast forward to now, I think that's bread and butter. If you don't really sweat the asset, you don't really get the moolah going in the hotels. And really, I think what it's coming to is adaptable and intentional flexibility that each one of the hotels has now adapted very correctly, like you alluded, Gaurav, right in the beginning. We don't have static structures anymore. The newer hotels have a lot more going on in the event spaces. You have a lot of flexible spaces that have either modular structures or they have very high-tech movable partitions. You have natural sunlight. You could be sitting in one hall in the morning and really doing a formal boardroom setup. But in the evening, you know what? Hey, you can really transform that into a social setup, which is brilliant and beautiful looking. And you wouldn't even think that you're in the same hall. But I think that's the beauty of where we're really getting transformationally. That also gets us to the fact that, today, in today's world, physical and virtual are very inseparable and they really integrate seamlessly. So hybrid opportunity always remains, and it's really become a fundamental at this point in time. Equally important, I think, for all of us is the social spaces. There was a time when lobbies and lounges were very underutilized. Today, I think each one of us uses it as an extension to all of our meeting rooms. The younger generation and pretty much the workforce that is in Bangalore looks at taking all of these adaptive spaces and really curating it to be something where they can get their energies going. More collaborative, high engagement. We also have F&B spaces today that really lend themselves into very fluid zones. You could be doing a high-level meeting in a PDR and then walk out because you want to meet the rest of the team that is out there enjoying and partying, and that could be a reward and recognition. So I think it's only about integrating all of that really comes into being in how you look at each space and you visualize each space by the end of the day to be what you want it to be. Finally, I think it's also important to be able to address the corporate lifestyle culture that has come in. There is a transition there. There is a transformation over there. Today's business travelers not only looking to stay in a hotel just because it's clean and hygienic. They want it to be a holistic package. They want it to be a place where they can integrate productivity, wellness, as well as be able to network with who they want to network, at what time they want to network, and how they want to network. So I think all in all, what we really are doing today as hotels are becoming not venue providers, but experiential providers. And this really talks to the audience and the people who are here in Bangalore. Thank you.
Great. Carrie, I would love to do my evening sundowner strategy meet at the place that is behind you, followed with some cocktails. But
I agree. Come to Nazara. It's an award-winning restaurant. We love it. So you must come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now moving from Bangalore.
He comes or he doesn't come, I'm coming.
Fantastic. Look forward to it.
Aro.
All right. Moving from Bangalore to my neighborhood, Delhi NCR. Let me first start off with Saumitra. Saumitra, in a dynamic city like Delhi, how do hotels ensure weekday occupancy while also tapping into the city's growing social and lifestyle events market?
Oh, very good question. Lately, we are talking about Delhi, this all over the news. During the AI summit, the hotels were going, the prices were going off the roof. It was all over the news. But you know what? It's a good situation to be in, and you would agree with it. Yes, of course, for corporate, for weekday occupancy, you need to have your corporate for a new hotel like mine. Your RFPs should be in place, your LNR should be in place, so that we have, because we are in a city center hotel, we need a lot of PSUs, embassies, corporates, UN, WHO supporting us. So we've done whatever we were supposed to do in the first year of operations. This is our second year. And you know what? Also, along with that, the city's social and lifestyle. I mean, if I were to talk about our hotel location, which is very close to where Bharat Mandapam is, um, and IG Stadium and Arun Jaitley Cricket Stadium, everything we've been able to tap. That's the whole idea. Before the hotel could start, we were looking at these opportunities. In 1 year of operations, you know what? I've got 3 international cricket team coming and staying with me, with an average stay of 5 nights. I think teams like South Africa, West Indies, and Namibia staying with us. And also, there's a lot of big, large concerts and events. That's also a big opportunity. So we've had a largest show of Zakir Khan in India, the comedian. When he did a show, we actually got the entire group staying with us. And the beauty of these events is that, you know, it's not just about rooms. You have after parties and other, ancillary revenue earning out of this. Also, other than that, you got to be taking the advantage of these restaurants, and you're doing some bar takeovers, doing some food promotions, and also some intimate gatherings like these book launches. We've done a couple of them, chef's tables. We've done a book launch with Parth Bajaj, which was very well attended by a lot of people. Chef collaborations, all of that. I think in this whole set of city like Delhi, I think for weekdays, this is the strategy that we have applied, and it has worked for us in the first year. And I think we are going to get stronger in the coming year as well. That's my answer for your question. Thank you.
Great. Saumitra, I think with the entire Bharat Mandapam, Yashobhumi, and the stadium, I think things are looking much, much better for Delhi NCR. Thank you. Now, moving to your other neighbor, Vishal. Large luxury properties like the Lalit New Delhi, you host everything from global conferences to grand weddings. How do you manage scale while maintaining profitability across different event segments?
Thank you, Mr. Apte. Thank you for the question. I think I enjoy the luxury of the location. So, you know, as you rightly mentioned, Saumitra also mentioned that we do all kind of formats, you know, whether these are small formats, whether these are larger formats. So my convention overall is about 50,000 to 60,000 square feet area. So wherever we play with our profitability, how do we manage our, you know, operational cost, we looked at events which are larger in terms of their formats, whether these are, we also picked up the small as well. So whatever we can cater is something which we do take in all our kitty. So I have venue which can cater about 10-15 people, and I have a venue which can cater about 10,000 people also. So my formatting is all across, which is larger in strength. So whether I don't want to do an event portfolio, whether I wanted to have an, you know, revenue optimization for that matter, wherever we wanted to have in terms of our rating, in terms of our rate, in terms of our operational cost, so we looked at wherever we wanted to have our flow. So wherever these are larger, wherever these are high ending pay costing, you know, we do a lot of embassies, we do a lot of bureaucrats, we do a lot of PSUs, all are high ending paying. So the location advantage, what we do and what we enjoy is something which really have an high yielding area. So that is something which we really enjoy. We do a lot of revenue management in terms of our catering as well. So though you know, we do a lot of back and forth, we do morning events as well, we do evening events as well. So our turnover is quite high in terms of events as well. So that is something which really yield better for us.
Great. Thank you so much, Vishal. I think the first round has been extremely exciting and informative.
Oh, very informative, very exciting. And, you know, see the perspectives brought out by every general manager on the show, and how valuable this is for the ones who are seeking responses, who are seeking answers. So great work. Thank you, Gaurav. You led well, so you're experienced.
Thank you.
Right. So be a threat to me and take over someday. All right. I'll just take a short 20-second break and turn back.
Sure. All right.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Thank you, Diversey. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen on the show. Now, I'm kicking in the second half of the show. And let me again pick on the mind of Gaurav. Gaurav, as hotels increasingly monetize multiple demand streams, do you see asset design and hotel architecture evolving to support flexible commercial use? You know, for instance, banquets have a different place, smaller banquets, bigger banquets. What's the balance between F&B and banquets, rooms and other fixtures, facilities? Is spa bigger calling? Not just that Westin is a spa brand, is a wellness brand, but the others also have to fill into that space. So somewhere we cross paths of what we were designed for and what we eventually do, because we have to put the asset to best use.
Absolutely. I think, in fact, I would say that one of the most exciting shifts that is happening in the hospitality today is the convergence of design, architecture, and commercial strategy. Hotels are no longer just being designed as, static assets. They are being conceptualized as dynamic, revenue-generating ecosystems. And at the heart of all of this is the multifunctional architecture, spaces that are flexible. Ballrooms, like I mentioned earlier, with movable partitions, pre-function areas that can convert into pop-up retail, networking zones, even lobbies that can double up as, social and co-working hubs. We're also seeing a strong move towards event-driven hotel design. So I'll give you an example. So we had, because we are in Gurugram, we get a lot of real estate business. So there was a real estate firm that took our entire ballroom for a month, and they even set up a model which they were about to launch, and they invited people to, have a discussion and book. And we used to cater to them depending on the number of people from that time till the allocation of the flats. So we, in fact, did a full allocation at the hotel as well. So we converted our entire ballroom into that space. So I think moving forward, this is what is going to happen, considering the demand. I think developers today are taking hotel buildings, very consciously and understanding what events will happen in that hotel, whether it's wedding, conferences, social gatherings. They have to make that particular space in such a way that it caters to all. And this means, larger, more adaptable venues, better flow between indoor and outdoor spaces, and having infrastructure that supports scale without compromising on guest experience. Another important aspect is the evolution of hybrid spaces, where business and leisure can intersect or intervene very conveniently. A meeting room, which is a meeting room during the day, can transform into a wellness space, a breakout zone, or even an intimate social venue. And our guests nowadays are looking for such kind of fluid experiences, and we need to have the design to be able to do that. So I would say finally we need to look at a hotel development that is all about future proofing, the pace at which the demand patterns are changing, whether it's hybrid events, experiential weddings, lifestyle-led F&B. I think we need to keep all that in mind. the more flexible that the asset is, the more resilient and commercially successful it will be over time. So, yes, to answer your question, architecture is no longer just about aesthetics, it's about enabling agility, scalability, and sustained revenue performance.
Excellent. Let me do the next best thing. Step back. Your show.
All right, let's start with the second round robin, and I will follow the same path. So, starting with Saurabh. Saurabh, how do resorts sustain wedding-driven demand without becoming overly dependent on one segment?
Thank you once again for the question, Gaurav. I think we've all heard this line growing up, right? Our mothers would say it, have a balanced diet, can't just sustain on sugars and proteins. So you'll have to have some veggies, you have to have some carbohydrates, you have to have some fats. And I think that same principle applies in our daily lives, in our professional lives as well. And I think COVID was a great wake up call for us, that not to put all your eggs in one basket. And I think that's the principle we've been carrying on since 2020, that you have to look at all segments. It has to be a balanced diet, and over dependence on one particular segment cannot be the success mantra for any hotel. So we've also looked at that from the very outset and the very beginning of this resort. We've focused very strongly on our leisure positioning. We understand that there is a strong leisure demand, especially in the domestic market, that we can tap in, and resorts like ours that benefits from the natural surroundings and the destination appeal of Dehradun does attract a lot of weekend leisure travelers, families, and staycation guests from nearby cities, especially with the fabulous connectivity that we have now with Delhi, with cities in UP like Meerut, and of course parts of Punjab, especially Chandigarh. So this ensures that the resort remains active even outside the peak wedding dates. Beyond leisure, we've of course got corporate offsites. These are retreats and leadership offsites that focus on, again, offsite locations where they can have R&R meetings, team building programs, and leadership workshops. They're also looking at locations at hotels that offer them something that is beyond the regular structure and the regular environment that they're pretty much used to. And resorts like ours, again, can leverage the outdoor spaces that we've got, the relaxed environment that we've got, that gives them the creativity to build a different kind of setup, a different kind of event, which they would normally not get in a city hotel or a city location. We're also, I think Uttarakhand especially is known for its wellness and retreat programs as well. And that's one important segment that's mushrooming and actually booming now in this market specifically. So we look at wellness tourism as well, curated programs such as yoga retreats, mindful workshops, detox weekends, especially with all the pollution around us, and spa-led wellness packages. So these are important and attractive restorative getaways that a lot of guests are looking at as well. And these experiences align naturally with the serenity of the environment that the resort pretty much is based in. So I think in conclusion, I would say that the key is for us, the key for our hotel success is, of course, to celebrate the strength of the weddings, but we need to have a balanced demand mix, because our resort needs to remain vibrant 365 days in the year and not just during the weddings season. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Moving on to Fino. Fino, how important is food and beverage programming in activating hotel spaces throughout the week?
Thank you, Gaurav, for that question, because someone from F&B background, I can talk about it for the whole evening. I guess those days are gone where F&B used to play a side role, which used to support the room division. Those days are gone. Rather, now F&B is the main role. That's what defines a hotel. That's what keeps a hotel active. Like Kadambari was mentioning, hotels have become social hubs where people come for networking, they come for socializing, they come for community engagements. And what makes it different from one to another is definitely the F&B factor. And I've been fortunate to have both a team who is willing and who is enjoying creating those experiences, and a market which adapts to the changes, with both the hands they take any changes, because Keralites, they travel quite a lot, and they are well-versed with different cultures, the food trends, and they like to see changes and they appreciate the changes. If I give you an example, very recently we have opened a restaurant, 3 months old now, Kaira. Now, this is a Persian and a Greek restaurant. It was a bit ambitious project. 8,000 square feet of area, 240 covers, an international cuisine, which is new to the city. Many told me that this is not something which you wanted to do. Now, I had my reservations, but we had to take that risk because the hotel wanted something new to boast of. Trust me, the kind of response what we got from the market was very encouraging. I should proudly say this, the restaurant is sold out on every single day. On weekends, we have a waiting list after 240 covers, which we thought will be a little too much for the city. The restaurant, it is not the architecture, it's not the design what probably people are talking about, but it's a experience what we created. If I give you an example, yes, this is probably the first restaurant in Kochi or in Kerala who can boast of a 3D projection mapping and immersive projection mapping. I don't think that any other restaurant have it. We have DMX lighting, many other architectural features we have, but none of the guests were talking about it. I thought, these will be probably my USP, this will be the selling points, but none of them were talking about it. What people were talking about was, being a Greek restaurant, my team do a plate-breaking ceremony on every evening, where all the guests would like to come together and, recreating those Greek experience where they bang the plates on the floor, cheer for it. Every evening at 9:30, people wait for that and they will ask that, oh, when are we starting it? So earlier we used to only keep it for weekends, but now out of the demand, we keep it for every days. Not only that, my chefs, they come out with, we serve Adana kebabs, those 1.5 meter long Adana kebabs. So they bring those sizzling Adana kebab and, bring it on the table. What I am trying to say is, I think it is the experiences and the experiential dining is what going to take F&B ahead, and that's what guests are looking forward. So if a hotel wanted to position themselves as an F&B driven hotel, I think you should create those venues where we create experiences for the guest. Thank you.
Thanks, Fino. Exciting. Let's move to Mumbai. Deepak.
Hi, yes.
In high volume city hotels, how do teams maintain operational efficiency while managing multiple simultaneous events?
Well, thank you, Gaurav. That's a very important one, and that's the trickiest one. So when we say, such high efficiency required, and you're talking about a market which is very rapidly changing on a day-to-day basis, and I'm sure it's quite similar for many other metros and cities. Where the booking window, I'm talking about the lead time, is actually for rooms is not more than 3-4 days. For banquets, though it is maybe about 3 weeks, but actually there are also events. We've had examples wherein I picked up a day prior for tomorrow, and not talking about 20-30 people, I'm talking about maybe 100 plus kind of a event. So then what is critical? So I'll divide it into 4 parts. One is people, very important, engagement level with the team, then the support of technology, most important, and then how you break down to keep a check on how you're performing. So people is because traditional roasting is no more into play. You've got to look at your roasting on a day-to-day basis if needed, instead of having kind of a weekly roster. Possibly it's required, especially for certain areas like F&B, banqueting. You've got to have these kind of tools in place to ensure that we review it a day prior, that are we optimally manned for tomorrow. So that's one part of it. Recognizing the hypos and ensuring that they stay with you is critical, besides the team members. Otherwise, celebrating small wins, even the smallest success should be celebrated to ensure that the team is energized, charged. They look forward to new things happening in the hotel. And then maybe a dependency on gig workforce. That's something which is coming up, partnering with colleges. So that gives us some kind of set of people to support the operation and bring in more efficiencies rather than having people everybody on roll kind. Second is the engagement level. This is important because every individual should be able to kind of relate to what they're doing, how much impact an associate is making by doing that upsell, or supporting, maybe if there's a turnaround required in the banquet, how much he is contributing by doing the turnaround, by going and supporting the banquet team. So till the time they relate their impact in the smallest way to the larger picture of the operations and the performance of the hotel, I think our job is done. Third is the dependency on system, having right tools in place, be it your revenue management tools, be it guest feedback mechanism, be it managing the overall asset management tools in the hotel. I think these are very critical to have to kind of bring in efficiencies, in the hotel operation. And last one, but the critical one, is breaking down all the targets, be it revenues and expenses, on a weekly format to review. Typically we review P&L month end. Maybe there's an opportunity to look at P&L mid of the month and see if there's a need to kind of navigate your expenses, do a course correction. So I guess these couple of things help us to manage our operations efficiently in such high dynamic environment.
Thank you, Deepak.
That's
Thank
really-
you for your valuable insights. Let's move to Bangalore. Carrie, with a lot of youngsters traveling now, how do you think are the younger travelers and corporate professions influencing how hotels design social spaces today?
Thanks, Gaurav, once again. I spoke about experiences right in the beginning, and I think that also leads into the second question that you've just asked me. For all of them who are very well-traveled, digitally savvy, and really crave those authentic experiences, they don't do traditional. So for me, the yardstick and the way I see it is that there is a difference and there's a mindset shift into traditional versus the authentic and the experience-led. I mean, look at the informal spaces in all of the hotels that we have right now. That's the first sign of what these guys want. What they want is really not to sit in a very traditional meeting room or a boardroom. They want to be away from that. Okay, if you have a meeting space that is very traditional, then do a different setup. Okay, let's look at think cafe style seating, or let's look at communal tables, or let's look at a lounge seating. And they really want something that sparks off that creativity, that spontaneity. They really want to be able to give that witty and quirky back to their organizations. I think, again, taking traditional as not something that they want, this leads us to a lifestyle hospitality. What people are really craving right now, and guests are craving, is really to reflect their identity. They want vibrant, design-led. They want it to be a lot more culturally relevant. If I've come to Kochi, what does the locale really have to offer to me? How can I integrate that into any of the experiences that I'm having at the hotel? That is what they're looking for. Socially engaging environments are a lot more stimulating for them versus the traditional environments. We're also seeing a lot of integration of the co-working spaces. Now, they want to have a very seamless way to be able to travel and work. So they want plug points anywhere that they go. They also want workstations. They want options for long stay living. I think all of this blending into their work culture and travel is what they're looking at. Most importantly, they're looking at experience-led environments. Now, when I say that, they're looking out for spaces that can really curate those music events, something that blends with the culture, like I mentioned earlier, interactive programming spaces, community-driven. And at the end of it, I think what they're really looking for is the hotel becoming the modern social hub. How does a community become an extension to what they want to look at is what really is transforming the spaces and the social need, to be honest.
Great. I would just like to add to what you just said. So, in Goa, there is an office space of, Goa is the gin hub. So, there is an office space where you might have heard of Hapusa Gin and Greater Than Gin. So, they convert their office space into a bar in the evening, and it's called MTW, which stands for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, next time when you're there, please have a look at it.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's moving on to sorry.
Gaurav, these youngsters are turning all that we had conceptualized on its head. they're ready to break every given rule in the book. They're so different.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And anything that you do is no longer, the in thing, because the in thing is, like something else tomorrow.
There are no thumb rules, no
Yeah.
more. Kadambari and all you general managers would experience it every day.
Absolutely. Yes.
So we have to be up to their game.
Absolutely. Let's move to Saumitra. Saumitra, quick question.
Yep.
What commercial mindset must general managers adopt today to ensure every space within the hotel contributes to revenue?
Very good question. So I think we all general managers, we have to go beyond our traditional approach and look at ensuring that every square feet or a square meter of the hotel is generating some kind of a revenue. If not all, at least maximize that part. Because today every owner is looking at the investment returns on their investment. So I think in this dynamic world, I think we need to be extremely agile and should be on top of our games. So you need to usage of the spaces has to be extremely dynamic. Let's say, I'll talk about my hotel. I mean, most of the hotel bars usually open during the afternoon time, right? They don't open it in the morning because the excise doesn't permit you to open it in the morning unless you take a 24-hour license. So we pick up a lot of breakfast groups and use that space because they need it for a couple of hours using breakfast, and then they walk out. So this is a revenue which is generated from a place which is practically dead and not operational at that time. So, using that, Kadambari spoke about community table. I mean, in a high turnover period, you wouldn't want a single. There are a lot of single travelers in the hotels. You don't want to make them sit on a table which is meant for 4 people, because you want to use the space for 3 or 4 people, right? So those community tables, come handy, and all the single people could be seated on those community table, and you maximize the opportunity there. Other than that, places, restaurant, like we've got a rooftop restaurant, the Flying Trunk, beautiful restaurant. It operates only in the evening. That could be used for day events. That could be used as a banquet breakout space. So I think the areas which is I think we need to be more on the top of our game and continue to think and evolve and be more agile in our approach towards what we do. In fact, we can look at upselling. Upselling could be a great opportunity and incentivize your team members by giving not just. Usually your sales team is incentivized, your operation teams are incentivized, but also there is a tool called Norvan. We use it very effectively in Accord. And a front office guy at the time of arrival, when he sees a guest is booked on EP, that means he's just a room only package. He can sell F&B at a price which is extremely entice the guest to buy at a discounted price. He will end up buying. Otherwise, that guy would have been just staying in the hotel room and walked out the next day. So I think these are the things which we need to really work upon and ensure that every possibility of upselling, cross-selling, and opportunity of every square feet of the hotel gets incentivized, monetized. That's
I hope the guests are not watching this.
In the interest of time, let me quickly move to Vishal. Vishal, looking ahead, what will define the most commercially successful hotels in India over the next decade?
Thank you, Mr. Apte. I think commercially, all the hotels and what we are looking at as a future is quite brighter and stronger. Of course, the demand diversification is quite a bit healthy. I think we have all across. Whether in India, whether in other countries, I think demand is something which is very strong. Though whatever barring it's been happening from last 15-20 days, I think that is something which are progressing all across. Our ecosystem is quite strong, whether you have geographical be strong, whether your risk managements are strong, whether your evaluations are strong. I think we are quite strong in that area. I think hospitality is quite booming here. We have, I think, whatever investment we have in our tech, whatever investment we are in apps, that is something which is futuristic. We are quite strong. All the stakeholders currently with the hospitalities are very confident in terms of our investments. I think our revenue strategies, whether we are towards FMB, whether we are towards room division, I think those are very well settled, very well defined. I think we are very progressing in those manners. I think that is something which I would definitely say that, all across our areas, whether it's from urban diversifications, whether we are looking at different portfolios, whether we are looking at processes, I think all commercially driven. Couple of years we are strong. We have a lot of hotels coming up. We are our stakeholders, our investors, all are at a better position. So I think overall seems to be a little confident. Overall seems to be a little progressive. We are adding up. Every day we are adding up. So I think that ways we are strong in all parameters.
All right. Thank you so much, Vishal. And before we conclude, I think let's have a quick rapid sign-off round. So I'm going to ask you complete the sentence, and you need to respond in 1 to 3 words. Okay. So the sentence is, and we'll go in the same flow, what we have done all throughout. So the sentence is: the future of hotel asset monetization lies in dash dash. Saurabh,
I think thinking on your feet.
thinking on your feet. Fino, you're
You're
on mute.
mute.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Creating more social hubs.
Okay, creating more social hubs. Deepak,
For me, it's operational efficiency.
operational efficiency. Carry,
Flexible spaces.
flexible spaces. Saumitra,
For me, it is urban experiences.
urban experiences. Vishal,
Event ecosystem, I guess.
event ecosystem. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the excellent insights. Do I do the summary, or Bhuvanesh, you would like
So
to
you will do the moderator summary, and I'll then do the closing
closing?
ceremony.
All right. Great. Firstly, thank you, General Managers, for your great insights. I'm just going to try and recap what we went through today. So, what clearly emerges from today's conversation is how hotels are redefining asset utilization in a rapidly evolving hospitality landscape. So, we started off with Saurabh, who highlighted how destination resorts are transforming weddings into multi-day experiential celebrations. Then Fino emphasized the importance of integrating hotels with the local community and leisure economy. Deepak then shared how high efficiency airport hotels maximize space through operational precision. Carrie then reminded us that flexible design and lifestyle oriented spaces are increasingly shaping guest expectations. Saumitra underlined the need for strong commercial leadership to activate urban hospitality ecosystems. And finally, Vishal demonstrated how large format luxury hotels must balance scale, complexity, and profitability across diverse event segments. Collectively, this decision reinforces that the most successful hotels today are those that can activate every square foot of the asset across multiple demand streams. Thank you, Bhuvanesh. That's
Yeah,
all from my side.
Gaurav, general managers have to think on their feet. They have to be nimble-footed, right? Basically, if you can't earn money for yourself, you can't earn money for nobody. So
Absolutely.
we've got to be smart. But the good thing is every day is a new opportunity, right? Hoteliers need to plan long, but they need to get their act going. It's not a 9 to 5 job. This is a 24/7 job. Hotels never close. General managers like journalists, like gynecologists, like doctors are always on their toes. This, like they say, the city never sleeps for Mumbai or New York or London or Tokyo or Singapore. This industry never sleeps. So every day is a brand new opportunity, and you've got to be up to the game. Yeah, you need to find time for yourself and for your colleagues to take a break. But then this is the nature of the business, but it's fun time, right? It's a great industry to be in. For all those people who are watching this show, this is the industry to be. This is the industry gives you, these guys don't come cheap, like I keep saying in every show. You get very good emoluments, you get great opportunities. Where else do you get to rub shoulders with heads of state, with royalties, with celebrities, with cricket stars? And who have you? Like with every job, they have their own demands, but this is a great industry. For those of you who've not bet your money on this industry as a career, listen, you're making a damn big mistake, right? Go for it. Look at these general managers. They're nattily dressed. They speak so well, and they govern assets which are into hundreds of crores. Some of them are in thousands of crores. So kudos to you. You presented a damn good case for your brand, for yourself, and especially for the industry. For all those ones who are watching this show, this is one of the purpose of the show. The discussion points, the topics are curated so that this becomes a lesson for you, for an industry that I'd say never sleeps. Having said that, Gaurav, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
For shepherding this show, and to all our distinguished general managers for sharing your thoughtful insights. You're all stars. I look up to you. I fancy what you do. I respect what you do. And I'm gratified and hugely grateful for your time, because it's not easy to pull out 1 hour from a general manager's daily schedule and get them on a show. But I guess in some corner of your work schedule, this is also important, because this is give back time. Without going away too far, I must thank Diversey again and again and again and again as our valued partner, along with the teams at BW Businessworld and BW Hotelier, who bring this platform to light. Look, it's not easy. Scheduling is a very tough job. Creating content, creating the topics, sending the show live and into recording is not easy. It takes a lot of hours. There's a lot of midnight oil that's burned. Season 4 of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM show has opened with some of the strongest viewership numbers in our journey so far. And it requests all our viewers to continue sharing these episode links across your teams and professional networks, be they WhatsApp groups or otherwise, so that these conversations reach the widest possible hospitality audience. Thank you all for joining this show. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the next 2 episodes of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM show before we end the week 5. Until then, stay inspired and stay connected. But a note, week 6, the last show on Friday is a very, very special one. All shows are special, but that is the day when we go outside India and we do a 90-minute show on Sri Lanka. You'll see 6 or 7 of the finest general managers from luxury hotels in Sri Lanka who are going. And I must tell you, Indians are the biggest inbound into Sri Lanka. It's a great country if you want to visit. If you want to hear and see what all those stars from Sri Lanka have to say. And they're going to make a pitch for their hotels, for the country, and for the industry. Thank you so much again. Before we go with the Diversey video.
You all.
Yep. Mudit, Diversey video.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Thank you, everybody. Let me begin by thanking the lady of the show, Kadambari.
Thank you so much, sir. It was
I
lovely to
can't-
be here.
I can't think of doing a show without you. You are a must to have here. Thank you for bringing in such grace to the show.
Thank
And
you,
you
sir.
present a damn good case for your hotel and industry. I look up to women who are in this industry and elsewhere. I'm the father of a daughter, brother of a sister, born to a mother and married to a wife. You guys have no parallels.
Thank you. Thank
All
you so
right,
much.
you are special and I love you all. And thank you for the first timers on the show. Vishal, Deepak and Saumitra, thank you for being there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. This was
Saurabh.
really
Thank
Thank you
insightful.
for being
Thank you.
there, Fino and Saurabh. Last but not the least, Gaurav, thank you. God bless you all. Do well and keep shining, keep smiling, and wish you a very happy weekend. It's going to be at the turn of tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.